Very good morning, everyone. So I'm Jerry from SGX. A lot of people, when I introduce myself, say I'm from SGX. They will say, "Yeah, you're from Singapore Stock Exchange." Actually, it's not Singapore Stock Exchange. It's Singapore Exchange Group. All right. So we have a lot of story talent today, and I'm going to share a little bit more about the journey of data democratization in Singapore Exchange. All right. So we have a very beautiful lady here, and can we make a guess? What is her profession? Anybody? We can tell this is a black-white picture. It's quite from the old school days, right? So she is actually a typist, right? She's a typist. For those who don't know what is a typist, they are professionally in typing and producing reports and letters back into the old days, right? But if we look around us, do we have any typists anymore? Probably not. Not everyone, not anybody. I believe everyone here, we can type, and I can type pretty fast, right? And we can even use our voice to type now, right? All good, right? So interesting. So what's the relevancy here? What's the relevancy here? So if we step back a little bit, let's look into our own companies. Everybody are in this data world. Let's have a show of hands. How many of your companies hire data scientists, data analysts? Please raise your hands. All right, we see a lot, right? We see a lot. But the question is there a possibility in the near future that data analyst roles will be like what typist role, whereby when everybody can do data analytics, right? Is there a chance? In the near future, could it be a chance that everybody can do data analytics? We do not need a data analyst anymore. Is that a possibility, right? So let's step back to the data democratization topic. So we would like to aim to power everybody with data analytics capabilities such that everybody in our organization knows how to do data analytics, right? From simple data analytics to the more advanced data science. This is what we are looking for, right? So what's the solution? We have so many colleagues here. What do? Provide everybody with a typewriter. Is that a solution? Is that a solution? Can we simply do that? Apparently, it's not enough. So here is the journey. I would like to share a little bit more what has been happened in Singapore Exchange and about the data democratization. So I'm on the business side of the exchange. So back into the old days, every day after the market close, we receive a lot of files, Excel files, CSV files, flat files, they call it whatever names, from our operation teams. So this is how it looks like. Then we have a lot of dedicated data analysts to analyze the data, process the data, and what we want to know about what has happened to today's market, right? So we spend a lot of time to create formulas, to build pivot tables, and we write macros, so all our Excel spreadsheets becomes gigantic. It's very huge and it's hard to maintain, right? A lot of us, I believe, still have overwhelming Excels sitting in somewhere in our desktops or laptops, right? So what can we do better, right? So from all these, we look at all these mass and we realize actually we may be quite further away from what is called data democratization. So what we did, we actually stepped back and we look at what are actually the day-to-day business questions we are asking us, all right? So we sort out all the questions. Questions like, who is making the order book when the market is volatile? Which type of client actually is buying the market when COVID outbreak? why actually there is this increased volume traded? Is it attributed to the new clients or it's attributed to the recurring clients, right? So what's the impact when Singapore actually introduced the new ABSD to all those bank stocks? What happened? Do they see a surge in terms of volume, and who are trading that, right? These are the very interesting questions we're asking ourselves. We see a sudden jump in both sides of the quotation in the order book. What has happened? Who is the one stacking the order book? These are all these kinds of business questions we ask everybody, or we ask ourselves. So by looking at all these questions, we categorize our questions. We start to categorize them. So we found out actually there are 4 categories. Number 1, what has happened? This is a very descriptive question we ask ourselves, right? The number 2, why did it happen? This is a kind of a diagnostic question we ask ourselves. Number 3, what will happen? This kind of a predictive questions we ask ourselves. The last one, which can be the most interesting one, how to make it happen. We call it prescriptive questions. All right? So with all these questions, we kind of know where we are, and we kind of know that actually the first questions are much more easier to address compared to the last 2 questions. Shall we actually focus on the first 2 questions first, right? Then by doing so, what we already know our questions. Now let's start to look for our answers, right? So apparently we have a typewriter. Can we simply give everybody a typewriter? And then we call it access to the data. Now every people from the business side can have direct access to the data. You don't need ops to transfer you the file. You can access to the ops system. You can access to the technology system. Does this solve the question? Apparently no. Why? We still have a lot of challenges when we have a direct access to the data. The data by itself can be overwhelming. In the stock exchange, in the exchange itself, we see tick data. It's millions of rows for each stock on a minute or even a single snapshot of time. So the amount of data is way too much for a business user to consume, right? So a lot of things can be said the data may not be relevant to me. I'm on the sales side. Why you provide me all the tick data? I need to know other things about that, right? And there are also multiple sources from trading engine, from the depository side, from the order side, different kind of information, and the client information as well from the CRM, right? So all sorts of different data sources, lack of definition. Business have a definition for themselves, how we actually consider traded volume. For those who might know, you see traded volume on the exchange. All those like SL, they have the Refinitiv, provide you all the data. Bloomberg provides you all the data. For a ticker, the volume itself, when you see from those terminal, it's one side. But for exchange, it's double-sided. So all this has to have a common definition there, right? For us to align, and we can so that communicate to right forward message. All right, data inconsistency. Different filters can directly lead to very different results of the data. So all sorts of complexity, hard to use. With all this complexity, business users will simply say, your data is hard to use. I can't use it. That's to break the silo, right? The data, people providing the data, and we are receiving the data, where is the connection? The connection is not there. So what can we do? What can we do about it? We try to upgrade our typewriter into a computer, see whether we can do better. So what is this computer? This is our business-centric database. So business users ourselves start to realize we need something. We can actually guide our technology guys to build something which the business is really looking for. By looking at our data, we see our data in 3 aspects: the product, the client, as well as the service. For product-wise, we will know for each particular stock what it is happening, for each contract what is happening, and for each structured product what is happening. For a client, we know whether they are from the buy side or they are from the sell side. Are they from the retail clients or they are actually a market maker, right? For service-wise, we know everything about the order, whether it's a limit order, whether it's market order. We know it's a trade, whether it's block trade and it's an on-screen trade, whether it's what is actually the amount of open interest our client is holding. These are the service side of information. With these three aspects all combined together, we now call it a business-centric database. We take the information which is very essential and which is very important to the business side, then we call it access to the right data. This is not simply access to the data, but it is access to the right data. All right, so now we have a powerful computer. What's the next invention of the computer? We have this. We have these two little buttons in which we call the mouse. Can we actually empower ourselves a little bit more better on this journey of data democratization? We call it promote data literacy. It's just like all the typists, they better to be literate for them to type fast. We believe that data literacy by itself is very important for us to promote that data democratization. That is to say, for all the big, powerful computer we built, which is our business-centric database, we actually do very well documentation on what actually it is. For each field, we provide a data definition, and we illustrate all the use cases in our business scenario. At the same time, when we communicate more technology side, we record down all the calculation methodology for each of the matrix. All right? So, other than that, we provide extensive training to our colleagues. What we do is that we host session-wise brown bags to invite everybody to come, and we describe what is the data about. We tell them all the use cases, how they can actually best use all this data, which is already now built into the business-centric database, right? And for those new joiners, we cultivate such a culture in the team as well. The moment they join the team, we tell them this is actually the data side of the stuff you should get yourself familiar with, so that they don't need to inherit more of the Excel sheets from others. They can actually start learning from the data structure, from the use case, from the business-centric database. All right, so we have a mouse here. What else? What's the next development in this computer cyber world? So we have something called touch screen. What's the equivalent to data democratization in this journey? Something we call it visualization tool. Visualization tool by itself is very, very powerful. Imagine in the very beginning, I talked about everything is in Excel. All the charting is in Excel. Although despite the Excel side can be used to track all the key metrics, however, the level of efficiency is not there. By having visualization tool, we can build all sorts of kind of dashboards, which we can closely monitor, real-time, day-to-day basis, all the market pulse of our exchange. All right? So this also allows us to do ad hoc analysis. We can explore more data insights by using the dashboards. Together, we can identify trends. We will see actually this client is buying low during the COVID outbreak, and we can see actually particular clients actually is making the order book when the market is volatile. This is all in the very nicely plotted charts now, instead of Excel tables, right? Such that apparently this increases our productivity. All the dashboards are automatically sourcing data from the business-centric database. You don't need to refresh your Power Pivot. Everything is done automatically. Every day I go into the office, I open my dashboards. All the numbers are already there. It's all automated. All good. So with that, our business decisions are very much facilitated. We can make our business decision much easier than compared to the past, because all the numbers is freely and available to us. Okay? Yeah. So, but someone may ask, can we actually get everybody to build dashboards? It's not easy. That's true. It's not easy. What we do, the data analytics team would take the leadership to build all those very powerful, typical data dashboards for the whole team. And we will try to encourage all those superstar colleagues from different teams to become the champion of building data dashboards, such that when we have more such super users or superstars among ourselves, we can actually cultivate this data democratization culture in our organization. When our business side, I would say majority of us start to be able to build their own dashboards and start to seamlessly get in all their Excel, transform them into the dashboards, the work efficiency has really been improved. All good? Yeah, so we are very happy about this. So we have touchscreen there, we have powerful dashboards. What's next? Is that enough? Is there anything more we can do? There's something called cloud service. In the very beginning, that the business-centric database can be a standalone PC with the business. It is prone to any power shortage. It's prone to hack, maybe. It's prone to whatever damage, water leakage. But if we actually host our business-centric database on the cloud, what can be done? It's much easier for us to scale it. We will not have any concern in terms of storage issues, to increase the storage capacity, and it also allows better collaboration. Look, before that, the business-centric database is only accessible to the business side. But if we host on the cloud, the whole company actually will access, and they can be benefited from the business-centric database. So the data we use now can also benefit other departments like risk side as well as operation teams, right? So, as I said, we are no longer worried about the shortage of power, so there's a contingency plan, and as well as there are definitely more advanced security side here. All right? All good? So, in this, we started with a typewriter. We upgraded it into a superpower computer. We equipped it with a mouse, and we have it wrapped with a touch screen. And we also move it into the cloud. What's the next stage? What's next? Everyone may know we have ChatGPT here. So what's the equivalent of ChatGPT in data democratization journey? We may not have the answer now, but I think we can definitely explore more. So I wish everyone, all your companies, have a fruitful experience in your pursuing of your data democratization journey. All right, thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give them a big hand.